afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, April 15, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. And we're having a time for change call tomorrow night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We will see if we can undo or let's just say, clarify some things that people are now questioning about our country, about the planet. If we were to step back and look at our world from the highest, most heavenly space, which means from the gods that we are within these bodies, it appears that we are this great symphony of souls, all working together to reach higher states of consciousness. Of course, we are also these separate beings with unique minds, hearts, and individual lives. Yet this separating aspect is not the biggest truth. The greatest truth is that we are intimately connected with everything and everyone else in this universe. When we surrender to this larger truth, weaving it throughout our day, the most tantalizing and enlightening moments just magically show up. We can feel the presence of something much larger than ourselves is guiding us to a more joyous state of being. We naturally become more sensually available to all the pleasure and joy we are here to experience in this wonderfully exquisite existence. And you want to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, no outside interference, relaxed into your body, still as a statue, and focused on your breath rising and falling. Now, by being radically open, raw, naked, and deeply willing to receive whatever the divine existence is offering us, and each moment, enlightenment must pour into us. It simply has no other choice. When we completely empty out our cup, this universe has to fill it. The result is a truly intimate connection with this divine intelligence and an abundance of the richest manifesting energy radiating from our core. By living each moment from this raw, open, vulnerable place, we can become unstoppable in everything and anything that we do. Whenever we are deeply surrendered to life, life surrenders to us. We immediately feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone. There are no more feelings of lack, unworthiness, or separation with who we are. There's also no need to become someone powerful, superior, and special so that we cover up that unconscious, insecure self who feels inferior. We can allow all our darker parts to be seen, felt, and heard. Most of us, you ask yourself this question. As Osho made a statement, which is right on, experience life in all possible ways, good, bad, bitter, sweet, dark, light, summer, winter. Experience all the dualities. Do not be afraid of experience. Because the more experience we have, the more mature we become. Osho. Now you can read a book. You can read thousands of books, right? So you might say, you're what, a scholar, or you've read a lot of books and you have a lot of knowledge of those books on whoever wrote those books. Then you have someone that has a tremendous amount of experience, right? Who would you listen to help you? The one that read all the books, or the one who has had all the experience and continues to do so? Interesting question. Allow the totality of your darkness and divinity to be revealed. As we start feeling into exposing, honoring, and welcoming all our dark and bright parts, we spend less energy controlling, holding back, hiding, and trying to contain our wild brilliance. And within this relaxation, our full divine nature can spring forth and shower upon the world. We are free to be spontaneous, creative, fully self-confident, and can access our core life energy naturally. We find ourselves resting and abiding in our spiritual essence, which does not judge or condemn anything or anyone, as it is the source of love itself. It's interesting how things have been created on this planet. And some of us begin to comprehend with clarity that each of us are the power. It has nothing to do with anything outside of us. See? It really doesn't. It has everything to do with inside of us. It has everything to do to know the direction on how to embrace the God that you are within the body fully, how to surrender all the time, how to be in deep gratitude all the time, no matter what's going on, how to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself all the time. And then what do? Well, you're no longer an ego mind for the most part. You're focused within the heart mind. You have accepted and embraced fully with deep eternal love that you are a God in a physical material form. Okay? And while you're in that physical material form, you can create anything you choose. Period. It's an absolute no-brainer. How do you think this planet would be in the event that, let's just say that the majority of us knew that and engaged it? Right? Now, one might say there might not be any harmony, or it might be totally chaos. No, it would if it was ego mind. I would agree with that. It would be absolute chaos in ego mind. But remember, we're focused on heart-mindedness, which is the doorway to the God that we are within the soul. So, when we look at that, we say, well, that means I could, for myself and for this life, I could design it any way I choose. Yep. Ego mind no longer controls me. Nope. So the suffering, expectations, attachments, worry, stress, fear, anxiety aren't there. Yep. And what about my mind chatter? It's not there? Nope. What about those 60,000 thoughts that play over and over again every day to me? Are those gone? Yeah. See, all of it it's always been, always will be, ever beyond and forever, that we are to discover what we are. It's not about, because everything that you see, right? Everything that you're seeing, we all see things differently. But everything you're seeing, you created. Because you're seeing it, you created it. Some other people will say, what are you looking at? And you could explain it to them, and they would look and they wouldn't see it. It's like you're standing on the shoreline and you see 3 ships on horizon. Right? They don't see any. And they look at the same direction that you're looking. You see 3 ships, they don't see any ships. That's the diversity that we have on this planet. Even though there's so many, there seems to be so many, 8.5 billion, which you could probably fit, well, You could fit them all in Texas and still have room. Now, for a very long time, we don't comprehend the fact that we are the masters. We are the commanders. I've said this often. We direct. See? We direct through heart-mindedness. How do we master the ego mind? Through heart-mindedness. So how does the ego mind find peace? Through heart-mindedness. And what is the ego mind really seeking? Peace. But see, it seeks it, just like we do, outside. Because after all, it's been in charge for a long time, even though it's an illusion. So it seeks peace outside of us. Never finds it. And through heart-mindedness, we bring it full around to discovering that here's peace. It's been here the whole time. And then it begins to fade away because it's at peace. It's satisfied. It's content. It's not interested anymore in, worry, stressing, and fearing. And it just basically slowly but surely fades away. But we have been taught very finitely for a very, very, very long time to rely on what? Others to do things for us. And we've done this for a very long time. What happens generation after generation? When you identify, right? Because we've all done it for a long time. You identify a leader. Leader's going to help us. Leader's going to do this and do this and do this and do this. Right? We've all experienced that. We lose sight of the fact that we are the leaders. We are the directors. We're the producers. We're the developers. We're everything across, chief cook and bottle washers, all across the board. We're not stupid, right? Ignorance, yeah, because if you don't have the truth, right, and the proper knowledge, you're going to be ignorant. See, if you've been told a lie for thousands of years, you're going to be ignorant. You're going to believe what you were told because that's what you believe. On top of it, you're not too easily going to let go of it. Because in a way, it sounds strange, it's comforting. It's comforting to know what you know, even though what you know is a complete lie. But it's still comforting, because you know something. And then when we look at the whole process of how everything has been designed, many of us are coming to full circle realizations that we wouldn't have designed it this way. We wouldn't have designed it anywhere near this way. And so when you look at the different aspects or perspectives or how things seem to be, who's running the show? Who's running the show? If you look real close, you are. Right? You're running the show. Now, I know that might sound strange to a lot of people. Say, no, we have all these other people running the show. I'm just watching. I'm watching as things transpire. It's like people, lack of confidence, lack of trust, lack of faith in themselves in this universe will repeatedly open up for others to lead when we are the leaders. And see, this is heart-minded, so it's not anything to do with the ego mind. Leading means that you get to know you, so you can guide yourself through the God that you are within the body. Now, if you don't get to know you, then you swim with all the other fish. And then we have excuse me, some of us call it a complacency, where we become lethargic and complacent and we just kind of follow. Even though we question things at times, we just say, it's not worth it, I'll just follow. And see, heart-mindedness leadership is a lot different than ego mind. Ego mind is, look at me, I'm the leader, you listen to me, you do this. Heart mind is that, what is it that you want in life? How would you like your life to be? And you bring yourself to a higher vibrational frequency of deep eternal love for yourself, you forgive yourself, and you surrender all the time. You're constantly surrendering. If you have fears, no matter what they are, you embrace those fears. Be amazed to see what happens. Most of us don't. When we won't embrace our fears, we'll run from them, and we'll ignore them. Okay? They don't go away. So we put ourselves through a lot of turmoil. We don't even need to. You just turn around and say, what is it that you need? I've said this before. What is it that you need, fear? What are you looking for? What do you need from me? And we have the power. See, if you believe that you are powerless, then you are powerless. It doesn't matter. No matter how mighty and powerful you truly are, if you believe that you are powerless, you are powerless. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. This is all a discovery for every one of us. And it's a decision that we choose, that we make. Wouldn't you, now, okay. Some of us on this planet view things from heart-mindedness and say, we don't care to engage in these lower frequencies anymore. Just decide. It's not you just decide we're not going to do it anymore. I've done it for thousands of years. I want to do this over here. I want enlightenment. I want to discover the enlightenment within me, the God that I am. I want to be in heart-mindedness. And to discover that I am the deep eternal love within this body. And that nothing can harm me. Never will. Now, you can create things that will harm the body. Not hard to do at all. But as far as the God, there's nothing on this planet that can even disturb a light molecule of the God that you are. Now, knowing that you're that powerful within that body, and use the body as a conduit to manifest what you want. It's not a demand either, because through heart-mindedness, you just ask. Say, this is what I want. But don't do a sloppy job of it, because then you're going to get sloppy return. You do a real finite, clean request, and you send it out to the universe. It's high. You're in high vibrational frequency. deep eternal love, and you send out, let go. I guarantee you, it's going to manifest. Look at the planet. Look at all the brothers and sisters on the planet. Okay? You can scope, let's just say that you're able to scope it all, see it all at once. All of it going on. Where's the chaos? Where is the chaos? In our minds. What you see is what we've created collectively on this planet. What you're seeing is what we've created. Isn't that wild? And it is in anything. Now, if you were to reflect or to make sure that you're not in it, you're outside of it, and you're not judging, and you say, wow, this is really haywire. Did I really ask for all this? Well, when you're depressed, when you're angry, when you're sad, or when you're even happy, whatever, you're creating. You're manifesting. And this is why when you look at this planet and the infrastructure of it, doesn't it feel old in a way? Incompatible with who and what we really are? Doesn't it feel like it's almost like many of us are forcing ourselves to comply with it? Even though we say, this is just dank, this doesn't feel good at all. I'm not interested in this. I'm going to go over here and focus on things that I truly enjoy and truly desire and want. That's it. There's my energies are going to go. The ego mind will sit there and it'll come up with all kinds of past things. You ever notice that? You get all these past things that come up. Out of the clear blue. People you've met, people you've interacted for, years ago. You say, I'm not interested in spending my energy on that. And then it just fades off. You say, that's long dead, gone. The past is death. The past is dead. Okay? The future hasn't come because you're creating it in the now. So doesn't it make sense to be very clear on what it is you truly want for you in this life so that the universe can bring it to you? But when you look at this planet, it is just an absolute huge bucket of chaos. Different perspectives, different ideas, different beliefs, this, conflict with that, disagree with that, disagree with this, judge that. You can feel it when you're not in it a lot better, so you can sense it. Look at the rat race. Everybody hustle, bustle, hurrying, and they feel compelled to get somewhere, but they really don't truly know where they're going. They're looking at the other guy or gal ahead of them, and they're just going to follow them. Well, they look like they know. I'm going to follow them. Confidence, faith, and trust in ourselves in this universe. That's huge. 100%. Oh, it may waver on occasion through the ego mind. But see, it's the confidence through heart-mindedness that many of us have not developed. Confidence in ego mind, that's a dime a dozen. But confidence in heart-mindedness it's just totally different. It's just you say, I'm sending this to the universe so the universe will bring it to me, and that's exactly what will happen. Ego mind, I wonder if it's going to happen. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Oh, boy, if it did, then I could do this and this and this and this. It's a huge difference. And as soon as we're in ego mind and we request something of the universe, it's chaos. Worry, stress, fear, anxiety, doubt, all comes in. It's like someone afraid that's fearful to exercise, right? Just to do simple exercise. They're worried that it might harm them. So they put it off, and 10 years later they're still putting off, said, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start it tomorrow. And they never do. And what holds them back? Fear. And where's fear? Ego mind. How many people in this country are in fear right now? Be interesting, wouldn't it? All you got to do is step outside of it and watch it. Fear if they don't do something, they're going to get punished. It's ego mind. Picture everybody on the planet on a sunny day, okay? And because of the angle of the sun and everything, we all have shadows. And look at the shadow as ego mind. That's your ego mind, the shadow. And you're constantly, all day long, trying to protect the shadow, your ego mind. Because that's exactly what the ego mind is. It's a shadow. It is an illusion. And it's there to teach us how to overcome it. And by overcoming it and mastering it through heart-mindedness, we grow. We expand. It allows us to master it and to function in heart-mindedness, which means that it is no longer an influence. You have to remind yourself, you choose to remind yourself that you are this powerful. See, if you just do it once, it's just going to fade away, and you're going to be right in the same muck again. Worry, stressing, and fearing about something. And you say, I don't care to worry, stress, fear. It's ego mind. I'm going to go to heart-mindedness. And I'm going to be in peace. That's where peace is, within. Peace isn't out there. Peace is within. Isn't it funny on this planet? Everybody's always talking about peace, aren't they? Society, different cultures, and everything, talking about peace. What peace, 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 peace. Now, if all of us were to embrace the God within us, and that is complete peace, solitude, tranquility, benevolence, what do you think would be? How do you think the planet would be? The same. Tranquil, benevolent, at total peace. Would there be arguments and yelling and screaming and disagreeing, slamming one another, judging one another? No, it wouldn't exist. Would there be anything effective? Would there be starvation? Would there be pain and sorrow and destruction and death? No, would not exist. It's a huge difference. And I guess some of us will say, is it worth it? That's a no-brainer. It's way beyond worth it. It's way beyond worth it. Not in our vocabulary is the word to describe it. And where does it come from? The God within us. More and more of us are going to find and discover on our own volition, and our own choices, that we are gods in these bodies, and that's not ever going to change. Yeah, we'll leave the body, but to know that you're a God of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, and that you're an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies. You cannot get any truer than that. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return and close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Relax into your body. Feel it touch you and focus on your breath rising and falling. Open your mind to the divine. There is a fierce feeling of liberation that naturally manifests when your mind dwells on what is divine. It may show itself as a sunset, deep love-making experience, or even in the mirror every morning. Today is your day to acknowledge that is a divine being too. Today is your day to acknowledge that is a divine being too. However, divinity reveals itself for you today. However it does. Remember one holy thing. You can always find freedom in the pure consciousness that is behind all. Feel into the boundaries of your consciousness and let them expand everything. Allow consciousness to seep deep into all things, deep places, and into every emotion and thought. This is the divine knowledge. Let this healing truth liberate you from your constant forgetting that you are an eternal soul who is cosmically expansive, universally connected. Let go of all ambition. There is nothing that you need to hide anymore. It's safe to expose your true, radical, free self to the whole world. Free your mind from replaying any fearful thought or insecurity. You are a divine being worthy of the greatest magic and highest power. Breathe deeply into this thought. I am a divine being worthy of the greatest magic and highest power. Let it simmer inside you for a few minutes right now. See how it makes you feel. Your sacred breath can release whatever is blocking from feeling this truth deeper inside. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you, nor outside it. In your heart, allow the magic to flow in.